I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I
a race
had to
baiter.
learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing. And I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustling, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them, now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old with the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. He didn't just We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
I had a thought this morning that I want to share with you about mentorship. I am able to do a lot of what I do because I had great mentors.
September 16th. Do you know what time it is? It's Al Sharpton's time. And for the next 3 hours, it's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. And good morning to our West Coast listeners. Welcome to those listening on Sirius XM, Channel 126, The Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. I'm coming to you live from our National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York, and for the next 3 hours, you can join the conversation. All you have to do is call us at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, or you can go on live stream at nationalactionnetwork.net and go to our message board and send a message like Reginald Clay just sent me a message saying, I've always respected you and the work you do. Thank you for sending a bus to Nashville, Tennessee, so we could attend the march on Wall Street. Well, that's what we do, Reginald, and thank you for sending me that note. And Martha Elgabell says, good afternoon, Rev. Continue the great work. Thank you. I need that encouragement. James Thomas, good afternoon, Reverend Sharpton and the Nan family. And so many going live stream now, and that's a good thing. Darrell Prunty, he's with me every day just about, says, praise the Lord, Reverend Al Sharpton. God rules and super rules. Don't you forget it. That's why I'm not worried about who is in temporary power, because I know who's in eternal power. And sometimes we got to see things as maybe God letting this happen to test us. Ronald Ewing Sr. said, what about the hanging at Delta State University in Mississippi in the year 2025? That happened this week, sending my condolences to the family. Yeah, and we're in touch with our people in Mississippi to find out exactly what we can find out there. They are saying no foul play. I don't know. We need to check that. And our National Action Network National Field Director is on that. And as soon as I have some concrete evidence, I'll know what's happening. But it is absolutely outrageous to me. Found dead, 21-year-old student, Delta State. You know I'm looking into it. And we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it one way or another. So much is happening. We have seen most of the morning that the new FBI director, Kash Patel, has been under a pretty intense Senate hearing. And they're questioning him on everything. I saw that Senator Klobuchar went after him. You know, what is amazing is that Donald Trump has said he would lower the flag half-mast for Charlie Kirk, who was someone ideologically was in line with him. And, though I didn't agree with just about everything I ever heard Charlie Kirk say, I certainly don't condone violence, and I don't condone it on either side. And one of the reporters asked Trump, said, well, did you think of lowering the flags for Melissa Horton and her husband, two Democrats? She was, I think, the head of the state legislature in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Went in the house, killed her and her husband, and were headed and wounded other legislators. He said, who is that? And they told him who she was. Oh, if the governor had asked me, I would have done it. Well, we've seen Democrats hurt that Trump didn't even comment on. And people ask me, why did I comment on Kirk since he has such right-wing views and attacked everybody, including me? I said, because I do not want to be like those I attack. If I've got the same moral code as the ones I oppose, then why am I opposing them? I'm not going to let them make me stoop to the level of not dealing with human value no matter who the human is. And I don't think that they are so big and invincible that we can't beat them if we just use what we have. Our vote, our economic power. We can handle all of this. And absolutely right. Claudette Washington says, what is the status on President Trump's $15 billion case against the New York Times? He's filed a lawsuit against them, $15 billion, saying they slandered him. He might not be happy he did that, because he might have to be deposed, and in a deposition, they can ask him anything they want. Better be careful what you ask for. Valletta Ross says, it is truly a need for some good trouble right now. Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree with you. That's why we did the march just 2 weeks ago on Wall Street. That's why we getting ready to do these buying shares in these major corporations so we can be at these shareholder meetings and ask the right questions as shareholders. Why are we moving out of DEI when diversity made us money? We are definitely going to be doing that. Going to be at the Congressional Black Caucus week after next, laying that out. So you're right. We need some good trouble. Hope Claire said, Reverend Al, you continue to be a major character in my prayers, and I'm appealing to you not to always disclose your itinerary. Crazy people are everywhere. All right, I'm going to take your advice. I know on social media sometimes we do announce where I'm going. Maybe need to be a little more cautious, but I'm glad you said I'm a major character in your prayer, in your prayers, because I believe in prayer. A lot of folks, oh, that's old school. All right, fine. You do whatever school you want. I believe in prayer. Pray for me all you can, Hope. And I believe in prayer, and I believe in the power of prayer. Why? Because I prayed my way through more stuff than I schemed my way through. And I don't apologize for that. All right, 1-877-532-5797. We're looking at also what's going on in Gaza on a global level. For Israel is pressing all the way into Gaza City. It is ruthless how Netanyahu is behaving. And it seems like he has no or little concern for even the hostages from Israel that's still there. He's not trying to negotiate. He's not trying to resolve matters. He wants to just wipe them out. And some suspect he's not going to try to solve nothing, because if he does, he'd have to go on trial for the things they suspect him of. But we are watching that carefully because that, as much as I felt it was an outrage, October 7th, when they attacked Israel, it is outrageous what they're doing in Gaza. And we need to raise any outrage to the level where you starving children, killing people inadvertently. It's wrong. Mass wrong. Also, the appeals court has said that Lisa Cook can remain as the Fed governor for now, rejecting Donald Trump's trying to fire her. The ruling came from the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, 2-1 decision, rejecting Trump's administration's bid to fire the Fed Gov Lisa Cook, who's a black woman, that they said she had lied on her mortgages. Come to find out, she wrote on one mortgage, "This is a vacation home." And rather than say we got it wrong, they're going to try to take the ruling and fight again. I think that it is more of the same. And let's be real clear. These people are about power. Nothing wrong with power if the power is used to do good. But if you just want power to be one with power, if you worship power, then you're no better than those that worship to have power over us. If your end goal is just to have power, then you have the same moral and the same, I'd say, immoral goal as the forces we fight. Yeah, we want power, the power to execute goodness and righteousness and fairness and justice, not the power just to be powerful. All right, let's get ready to take some of your calls and open up the phones. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, keeping it real. I'll be right back.
So we just wanted to greet you all and thank you for allowing us in.
Yes, sir.
We want to go with gold. Yeah,
we was here. They were on the plantation.
Our family was on the plantation. Wow. And that's, of course, that's the slave house. That's one of the slave houses.
Sir, it's been 13 years.
That's right.
Good to
How
see
you been?
Doing fine.
Right, last time. And we,
Alexander Sharpton. How many slaves were staying there?
I have no idea.
This is where they would have a slave.
Yeah, that's when exactly. That was exactly.
I just
Yeah.
the two people that most influenced my life were from South Carolina, James and Jesse. Jesse right up the road from me. I went over his mother's funeral. Jesse walked me to my mother's casket.
Wow.
From South Carolina. That's the balance of my life, James.
Yeah.
Civil rights, shoulders.
But also where your people from too.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
And when I knew Jesse was from James, I started Breadway.
Yeah.
And James had died before I knew about him in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, James died December 25th. He died Christmas Day, 06. And they came to do the story for February of 07. They came to me in January. His daughter swear that was his daddy and helped me push the information out.
Wow.
And I called Jesse and told me, you know that my great-grandfather was a slave about 45, because Greenville right up to I-20. He said, I told you we was connected. That's why you got to listen to me. But now. That DEI is a result of those that by law and later by enforcement would not deal with diversity, would not deal with including people of color, gender, sexual orientation, as well as disabled. And the conscious effort by government and the private sector to begin to equalize the opportunities of this country was something that makes it more humane and fair for all of us. To DEI, diversify, is not based on the lack of merit. We could not show our merit because we were extremely pompous conservatives that talk about we want a society based on merit. Well then, if it's based on merit, then why did you discriminate based on race and gender? Until they cut off much of the population and then had merit between white males. That was what they meant, not merit. Let's have real merit, but let's also make up the ground that those of us with merit was not able to compete. entertainment, or who can hoop the loudest, who could run around the pulpit more, or who got the dresses fancy, and don't deal with the ministry. Jesus healed more people than he preached to. Because there is in the healing your message. They followed Jesus because he healed a woman with the issue of blood. They followed Jesus because Jesus saw a blind man named Bartimaeus. A lot of us would have dismissed him because he was a broke, poor, homeless, a blind man. How you know he was broke, Reverend? Because they say he was begging. But he understood what he was doing because he heard that Jesus was passing by. And when Jesus got close enough, he said, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. They kept telling Jesus, let's go, look, we got a schedule, we got people to see. He said it again, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. And when he did it the third time, Jesus stopped and went and healed the blind man. Now, what I get out of that scripture, Bishop Daughtry, is that the blind man told Jesus, if you are who you say you are, you're going to stop and see me. And if you stop and see me, you will confirm who you are. But when we are pastoring and leading in communities with bad health, we cannot be the followers and representatives of Jesus and walk by people that are sick and we not be part of making them well. For 90 days, they're going to do a study of what companies have pulled out of DI and what companies have a small margin of profit. And we in 90 days are going to announce the 2 companies that we're going after. And we're going to ask everybody in this country, black, white, brown, gay, straight, woman, trans, don't buy where you are not respected. Donald Trump can't make us buy your stuff. The Senate can't make us buy your stuff. In the name of Dr. King, we're going to do what Dr. King did. Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Twitter.com, The Rev Al. And I'm taking your messages on the message board at live stream at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And James Thomas is on there saying, I don't know if anybody's seen FBI hearing, but Kash Patel got raked over the hot coals by Democrats. Yeah, I saw some of it, James. And the Democrats, and especially Cory Booker, kind of really stood up. I was glad to see that. And I think we need to congratulate them when they do the right thing, get on them when they don't. But I did see some of it, and I felt some of it was good. Let me, by way of announcements, before I get too far, don't forget, every Saturday and Sunday, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. And for you that are constant listeners of the show, you know I get the ratings for the weekend on Tuesdays. And Saturday night and Sunday night, you supported us very well. Very good numbers. Got rated higher than even the CNN show. About 4 or 5 weeks in a row. And the ratings is not even about my ego. It's about making sure that they cannot play with you on the air because you got an audience. And the reason we have audience is I try to not waste your time. I bring people on that's in the thick of an issue or that can handle an issue. A governor, a senator, a senior member of Congress, or a candidate. Somebody that can get something done, not this. And I'm not belittling anybody. People do their shows the way they want, but I don't bring in my friends just to sit up there and do a show on how smart we are. And what was your philosophy on this and all that? No, I want to bring in people that why is this happening? What are you going to do about it? Why didn't you do this? What about this? People need answers, not intellectual entertainment. So if that's what you want, that kind of show, then watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC every Saturday and Sunday. And you will not regret it. You that are in the New York area, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice, 145th Street, Lenox Avenue, in the village of Harlem. Saturday mornings, 9 to 11. Be at the House of Justice. I'll be looking for you there. It was interesting. One guy stopped me, I guess it was yesterday, and said, you know, I came up to the rally, Rev Mal, and I was surprised that you were there. I said, I'm there every Saturday. He said, no, I thought you announced it on the radio, and we just watch it live stream, and you didn't let us break into meetings. I said, no, I'm there. So I wouldn't ask you to be there if I wouldn't tell you I'd be there. For those that are not in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, where you can easily get there, you can watch it live on Impact Television or at nationalactionnetwork.net on our live stream. And our cultural awards, every year we honor some people that have impacted the culture, and we celebrate my birthday all at the same time as the National Action Network's Triumph Awards, and it is at Lincoln Center in New York. And this year it will be Monday, October the 6th, and I want all of you that can get to New York, be to New York, come and be there that night as we celebrate our honorees this year. And down through the years, we've honored everyone from Angela Bassett to Quincy Jones to Kevin Liles, Judge Greg Matthews, I mean, you name them, Queen Latifah, Vice President Harris. But this year, Tyler Perry, we've had there Mike Tyson, and Denzel Washington. We've had this year we honoring Babyface. Babyface Edmonds will be there, and we're honoring him. And I'm proud to honor him. We're going to honor Stephanie Mills, and we know Stephanie Mills from her songs and her acting. I remember when she was just starting on Broadway with the Wiz. And Stephanie Mills will be there. We're honoring Ari Melba. Many of you watch his show, The Beat, on MSNBC. And we're honoring a young man that has taken the gospel field by storm. He's going to be our gospel concert honoree this year, Vincent Bohannon. So, and it's all free. All free. All you have to do is go to www. Also, don't let me forget Chesley Maddox Darcy. We're honoring her, who owns one of our last standing black news networks. And Chesley, we're honoring them. Make sure you go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net, and sign in. Now, your tickets are free, and they'll tell you where to pick them up. But if we run out of seats, and we're in the big room at Lincoln Center, if we run out of seats, don't come to last week saying, Remal, you know I've been a member for years. No. We go by first come. As you sign in, we assign seats. And we'll tell you where to pick up your tickets. And I want everybody to be my guest. Plus, we sing happy birthday to me. My birthday is October 3rd, but we are not celebrating it until Lincoln Center that night. So make sure you are part of the Triumph Awards this year. And I want you to be there. Let's take a break. I'm coming right back on Straight to the Phones. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
mentorship. I am able to do a lot of what I do because I had great mentors. But there are correct ways and incorrect ways to mentor people, in my opinion. I was mentored as a boy preacher by Bishop F.D. Washington, one of the great Pentecostal preachers of his time. Then Reverend William Jones became my pastor after Bishop Washington died, who was unquestionably in the top 5 black church ministers, theologians. Reverend Jesse Jackson, I started my activism under his leadership, he and Reverend Jones. And I learned politics directly as a youth director from Shirley Chisholm. So even though I didn't finish college, I had the most unique education in the world from being exposed to giants. But the one thing I learned is as I grew older and people started coming younger than me and wanted me to teach and mentor them, the magic of the mentors I had is they did not want me to be their clone. They wanted me to learn things from them and use my own gifts and talents in my own unique way and let me do things on my own, because they knew that if I flopped in some things, it would teach me for the other things. They'll come and help me once I was down, but they were not going to have me avoid being down. And they were not going to impose themselves on me. Why am I saying that? Because too many mentors want clones, and too many mentees want their mentors to put them on a pedestal. Oh, so-and-so didn't do this for me. Oh, so-and-so didn't open doors for me. If they got to open doors for you, it may mean that they knew you weren't ready to go through those doors. Their job is to prepare you. Your job is to develop your own skills, your own unique ways. And I don't care if it's my daughters, who both have come into their own, or anyone else. I'm not a talent agent. I did not form National Action Network to give people their step up. I formed it to fight for justice for everybody. If talented people get in, it's my job to invest and give them a platform. It's their job to get on the platform and perform and show their ability. Sitting with me today in the office as I talk about it is one of my mentees, Reverend Stephen Marshall. Now, Stephen, you just came around us when you were how old?
11 years old.
11 years old. You just turned 40 and now you're called to the ministry?
Yes, sir.
And what do you do in National Action Network?
I formulate policies, lead in various regions, but most importantly, I senior advisor to you on all things from social justice strategies, politics, intergovernmental affairs, you name it, community organizing, all of that stuff.
And I could go through scores of others. My daughter started Huddle. They got Huddles now, which is for young people to meet once a week all over the country. I just saw the video from the Las Vegas National Action Network chapter. Now, when you decided to preach, did I ever tell you to become a preacher?
Not one time.
Who called you to preach?
The Lord.
All right. And did I say go to this school or that school?
No, sir.
Did I open this door, that door? Did I tell you be ready when the doors open?
Always be ready and prepared.
And that's what I'm saying. Get you some young people than you that you can help along the way. But don't be their talent agent. Their talent must speak for themselves. And anybody that grumbles with you about so-and-so didn't do something for them, maybe it's because they didn't feel you were ready, or that they felt if they did it, you wouldn't do it on your own. But we all don't live forever. I want the next generation to speak of me, of National Action Network, and others, the way I speak of Reverend Jones and Bishop Washington and Shirley Chisholm and Reverend Jackson. But I just don't want young people to feel that somebody ought to give them the reins of leadership or give them the reins of business or whatever it is you're in. You need to learn from their journey, get the pearls of wisdom from them, but don't have them do for you, because then it means you can't do it for yourself.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Ira in Washington, D.C. Ira, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Hey, good evening, Reverend Sharpton. Just thanks for taking my call. What is I was calling in reference to this bogus Venezuelan boat bombing that they had going on.
I can't. You got to speak in the phone. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I was talking about the bogus Venezuela bombing that they have with these Venezuelan freighters that they had. They had a bombing that they bombed these boats that wasn't even checked to see if there was anything in them. For one thing, they went and bombed them up, and I think that was something to provoke them to get a war started, so they can start the president can start this thing which you can shut the city down and say we got wartime and all this stuff. That was his probable cause, I would think. And then the second thing he had going on one of his social media outlets, he said something about giving people vaccines that got poisons in them and stuff that can kill people. And it's on his Chief Justice site, and it's on there, and it's been published. He didn't know that, though, but that's what it said. It's got mercury, it's got aluminum, all kind of stuff that he's going to try to force a mandate to put vaccines in American people, and that's not good.
Yeah, I think both points that you make is extremely important. To be firing at them boats in Venezuela as part of the drug cartel and nothing on the boats, or you don't check nothing, is absolutely outrageous. And it would be reprimanded if it was anybody else. And it should be reprimanded now, because you're putting innocent people at danger. And secondly, this vaccine stuff, I don't know why more people are not complaining about that. This is totally ballistics what Robert Kennedy's doing.
That's why they're doing it, because they're going to mandate that poison be a mandate thing where they're going to make you put poison in your system, and it's going to be he got the right to do that because he got the hands on the person in charge of the medical. He got a person in charge of everything else to back him up. And lastly, what I say is this now. They seem to found that guy that killed that boy that's doing all this crazy hate stuff, but yet they couldn't find the rest of the Epstein files.
And they got him. They got you. You raised a
Yeah,
good
but they got him quick. They got him quick, but they didn't have time.
I'm saying
the Epstein file.
No, I'm saying they got him. Meaning they got them Epstein file. They can find him, because you're absolutely right. They found everything on this guy, including, and it took them 2 days to find where he said I was the guy that did it. So then why did it take y'all 2-3 days to find that? But so in all these years they got all the Epstein files. They got them all. They just don't want them out. And there's no.
I'm just hoping
there's a reason they don't want them out. There's a reason they don't want them out.
Right, because they'll mess up his next attempt to take over a term is what it is.
Yep, exactly.
So I appreciate you taking my call, Mr. Sharpton, and I'll give it to you tomorrow. I got some more stuff. I just can't talk right now. And one last thing, your buddy, the singer dude, I can't think his name, at Constitution Hall, Tyrese. Isn't that something? He's going to Kennedy Center and perform.
He what?
I saw a thing. He's going to the Kennedy Center and perform.
Trump.
I know he don't understand.
For Trump.
I don't know who he's going to perform for.
Well, Trump is
whoever
over.
It is, he sure is right.
Trump's over the Kennedy Center now.
I know, but he sure is licking them boots. So he's going to go in there and do it.
Yeah, I got to check that out. I was having a good day. You just turned me around, Ira. I got to go. I got to put on my tracksuit on that one. That one's crazy. All right, thank you for your call. Let me go to Bristol Hicks in Pennsylvania. Bristol Hicks, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
How you doing, Reverend Al? This is Crystal Hicks from Bristol, Pennsylvania. I'm the host of Let's Talk About This podcast. And first I want to say
wait a minute. Let me get it right. So it's Crystal Hicks.
Crystal Hicks.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I live in Bristol, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And first I want to say I enjoy your morning thoughts every morning. They're very motivating and very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and I'm the host of Let's Talk About This podcast. I watch you on Instagram all the time. You inspire me and you encourage me. And I want to talk a little bit about the shooting that occurred with Charlie Kirk. I'm kind of upset about this whole situation because Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and he's supposed to be a leader, a positive leader. But as we all know, for him, it's all about power and chaos and sort of like trying to be a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, now that they have a suspect in custody, the 22-year-old who shot this guy, Charlie Kirk, they're still trying to make this out to be a left-wing situation. What is your opinion on this? Because from what I see, it appears that they don't want to get to the root cause of the issue, and that's the gun laws in this country. They want to dress it up to make it seem like it's all about the left wing that's causing all this chaos, but it's really our president who's causing the chaos. I mean, Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed because of violence, and yet they still continue to promote violence.
No, I think my opinion of that, Crystal, is very much similar to yours. The first problem you got, even before you get to the mentality of the young guy that killed Kirk, is that the guy could get a gun and shoot from that range and kill somebody. And that is true from the people in Minnesota. They kill all the way across the board. It is amazing to me and scary at the same time that the same day that they killed this young man killed this guy they handed me notes. I'm sorry. Same time that they killed him, they killed these young students in Denver, Colorado. Same day, And they act like that was nothing because they've normalized. We getting accustomed to people shooting school kids, killing people with assault weapons. And I think that the core of this is we've got to ban assault weapons. We've got to have stronger gun laws. Then you deal with the other problem, which is sister to it, is the mental health thing. All of this left-wing stuff, first of all, left-wing, right-wing, he shouldn't have had that kind of gun. And secondly, if he showed signs of mental disorders, it should have been dealt with. But they're trying to scapegoat it politically rather than deal with the fact that they have made guns available. There's more guns in the United States than any country in the world, and that's what's causing the problem.
Right, because we don't need assault weapons. Assault weapons should only be used for the military. Why are they allowing that assault weapons to be sold and for it to be easy for people to get these weapons? I mean, because it appears to me that they're trying to dress this all up as a left-wing situation, which this is not a left-wing situation. It's all about money. The love of money is the root of all evil, you know, and until they address the gun laws and reform everything, a lot of this situation will calm down. And then we have a president who's also promoting violence on top of violence. You know, this guy, Charlie Kirk, just got murdered because he was promoting violence and hate and racism. And yet you see the Vice President Vance on the news talking about retaliating with more violence.
Right.
You know, so they're trying to make this issue more of, it's all about blame instead of accountability. And this is what I'm seeing. It's like they want to me, it seems like they just want an all-out war. And they don't want to come right out and say that, but that's what it appears to me. They've been looking for an excuse to have a war. This is why they put the National Guard on the street. You know, and I knew this was coming. I saw it coming a mile away. And this is the issue that they don't want to address. They want to cover it up. They want to have an excuse to start a war. And I think people need to be very careful, especially our black men, because they're going to find an excuse to start pulling these black men out of their cars and killing them. And this is the things that I'm seeing coming. So a lot of this stuff needs to be addressed. But when you have a president who's abusing his power, you know what I'm saying, and people don't have enough balls, especially the Republicans, they don't have to have enough balls to stand up to him. They have to be accountable as well because they are allowing him to do the things that he is doing.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that needs to be said more and more and more. And I think that it should be the central issue that we use in many of the ads that we use when they're running for Congress next year, the midterms, and those that are running now, is that what about the gun law? Why are they allowing the right wing blocking any gun legislation? I think that it resonates. We can't keep watching these deaths. And we cannot keep watching. I mean, children going to school. It's scary. Thank you for your call. Let me thank you for your call. I hit a break. I got to go. Let me take my break. I'll be right back. More of you on the phones, keeping it real. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back. 62 years ago today, Martin marched in Washington. 62 years later, the dream is not dead.
I'm here because I must be here. Democracy is not there for the pig, and you have to fight for democracy. That's what it is. What Trump will erase, we will replace.
Is the dreamers in many cases have reversed and tried to turn it into a nightmare. We come to Wall Street rather than Washington this year to let them know you can try to turn back the clock, but you can't turn back time. We gonna keep the dream alive on Wall Street. Come on. We've reduced a lot of our ministry to entertainment. Or who can hoop the loudest, who can run around the pulpit more, or who got the dresses fancy, and don't deal with the ministry. Jesus healed more people than he preached to. Because there is in the healing your message. They followed Jesus because he healed a woman with the issue of blood. They followed Jesus because Jesus saw a blind man named Bartimaeus. A lot of us would have dismissed him because he was a broke, poor, homeless, a blind man. How you know he was broke, Reverend? Because they say he was begging. But he understood what he was doing because he heard that Jesus was passing by. And when Jesus got close enough, he said, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. They kept telling Jesus, let's go, look, we got a schedule, we got people to see. He said it again, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. And when he did it the third time, Jesus stopped and went and healed the blind man. Now, what I get out of that scripture, Bishop Daughtry, is that the blind man told Jesus, if you are who you say you are, you're going to stop and see me. Yes, sir. And if you stop and see me, you will confirm who you are. Yeah. But when we are pastoring and leading in communities with bad health, we cannot be the followers and representatives of Jesus and walk by people that are sick and we not be part of making them well. For 90 days, they're going to do a study of what companies have pulled out of DI and what companies have a small margin of profit. And we in 90 days are going to announce the 2 companies that we're going after. And we're going to ask everybody in this country, black, white, brown, gay, straight, woman, trans, don't buy where you are not respected. Donald Trump can't make us buy your stuff. The Senate can't make us buy your stuff. In the name of Dr. King, we're going to do what Dr. King did. Trump tweeted the other week, I'm a con man, don't call me the coin man. I'm going to stop the coins from dropping in the wrong place. No justice, no justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gotta stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom, let my people go, go.
telling yourself you're not confident of what you could do. When people with half your skills and a quarter of your talent have gone on to create big waves in life, if you look at them and you know you're more gifted than them, then what is your problem? You are looking for someone to come and drag you into success. You've got to use what you have, which is, in my judgment, more skillful than others I've known in your area. Use that and believe in that, and your confidence will build up as you get going and start doing. And don't chase the spotlight. Sharpen your skills. Live in your purpose. And you'll get so good the spotlight will be chasing you. Be so good they can't help but talk about you and put the spotlight on you. You don't get your energy from chasing the spotlight. You get your energy by chasing your purpose. The spotlight and other adulation will come with it. Have a great day.
Encourage us, because where we are, we need guidance, we need direction. Reverend Sharpton, if you could please guide us and say a few words, because we just must. There's no way you're interviewing us.
Baku is so special to all of us, and what has happened this week, let me tell you, Baku and Rich Dentist and the rest will not tell you, against all obstacles, they said we're going to make this happen. I was here 31 years ago when Essence Music Festival started. I've spoken at every one for 31 years. They wanted to stop this. They ended DEI. But just because they ended DEI, we will not DIE. We are indebted to these sisters because they reconnect us. You are strong not by your branches, you are strong by your roots. And the reason that this will survive is the roots that they have brought us from the motherland. Tell us that we're stronger than the waters that we had to pass over. And if we go back to the roots, we can take the waves and the storms of the ocean, because God brought us here to save the human race. And that's why we're here. God bless Baku, bless you, sister. Bless Reverend Jasmine Crockett and all of you that are here tonight. They're doing, thank you. They're doing What's on Your Mind? Yeah. All right, then, we got a birthday this week. I got to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday.
Keeping it real. I'm your host,
Reverend Al Sharpton, and we are back. Happiness Donuts on the live stream message board saying, I sit in this cubicle and just have to side eye everyone. Not enough outrage, in my opinion. Hashtag good trouble. I'm with you, Happiness Donuts. You got to watch folk around you. They too comfortable in this nonsense. I'm with you. I am definitely with you. Bruce Turner saying Georgia has an election for District 21. The candidate for the Democrats is Deborah Shigley. Okay. I got that. I put it out there. Let me go right to the phone. Let me go to my activist extraordinaire in Chicago, Sister Pam. Pam, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Hi, Reverend Sharpton. Can you hear me? And is this background noise too loud?
No, I hear you very well. I hear you clear.
Okay. Great. Reverend Sharpton, with Charlie Kirk, it seems like free speech telling the truth about him is penalized, and people are now being punished for just calling him what he is. His actions and his words announce him as a racist. That is truth. That's not hyperbole. That's not name calling. That's not political violence. That's truth. And I hope that there are those who are not afraid to just speak the truth. The next thing is that the political violence that they're not talking about is the attack on the Capitol. Now, if that is not political violence, and then you have the adjudicated sexual abuser who released the savages that did that, if they don't talk about that, I'm not trying to hear anything that Pam Bondi or the rest of them says. And lastly, I'm going to speak on this, Reverend Sharpton. Two things. First, we need to fully support our civil rights organizations. You, Reverend Jackson, we need to support the institutions and the churches that are doing the work. And also, people, keep in mind, this is the very last thing, keep this in mind. We have a sex ring of wealthy people that are getting away with the rape, the violence, and the rape against our children. And the person in the White House was best friends with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And if we don't care about our children, we don't care enough to have full investigations, then what is wrong with us as a country? A child rapist was best friends with the President of the United States.
Mm.
And you want me to have some kind of respect for him or anyone that he appoints to his cabinet. All of them have been woefully unqualified. And so if you're supporting this administration and this person in the Oval Office, then I'm going to say you are supporting child rape. Where are the millionaires and billionaires who are saying that I had no knowledge of it and I didn't participate in it? It seems to me, because right now I don't know which millionaires and billionaires did participate. The file is there. It should be released. And shame on anyone who is not calling for that.
That's right. I'm with you. I totally agree with you. Thank you for your call, as always. I totally agree with you. Giavisia, I hope I'm saying it right, Giavisa General says, good afternoon, Reverend. Now, isn't it crazy that Charles Kirk was killed on a college campus, and wasn't Trump removing students on college campuses that go to school for protesting their rights, freedom of speech? How is it good for one side and not for the other? Very interesting. Students were being removed for exercising free speech. And I guess her question is, then why was he allowed to have a rally on the campus around Turning Point, which was a political operations? Now, of course, that doesn't justify killing him, but it's a question that I think is a very interesting one to raise. Let me go to Atlanta, Georgia, to Deborah. Deborah, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Hi, Reverend Sharpton. It's interesting. I was listening to people and reading enough about Charlie Kirk that I don't even read it anymore. But when the lady was actually speaking about him and just the way that they lowered the flags like he was a presidential figure, like he was a member of Congress or anything. And then to have Donald Trump say that he didn't lower the flag for the Hortman family because nobody asked him. But everybody remember that he was asked to Epstein's Island. So I guess that kind of shows you the type of person he is. So he has to be, he was asked to go to Epstein's Island, but nobody asked him to lower the flag because they knew where to invite him to and what he would stand for. But I want to talk about Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace, who's running for governor, has the nerve to go on television when Charlie Kirk was murdered. He was not assassinated, people. He was murdered. So count that to their book when they talk about the violence that we have on black crime. Let's count that he was not assassinated. He was murdered, okay? Nancy Mace goes on national television and says that, it's the left wing, the left side. And I don't do that either. I don't socialize with the terminologies that they use, the left and the right and all that dumb, ignorant stuff. I'm just repeating what she said. And she put that out like Democrats had done this and Democrats was responsible for this. But now she has the nerve to go on national television and wants to censor Miss Omar. I want to say her first name, but I don't want to say it or pronounce it wrong. Is it Alam Omar, Reverend Sharpton? Am I saying her name right?
You talking about the Congresswoman?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're saying it right.
Okay, yes. So now Nancy Mace wants to censor her because she has comments in reference to Charlie Kirk, but nobody censored her when she got on and told all those lies and literally, just like Donald Trump wanted to start a war. She gets on television, she see these stupid white people with their flags walking down the street with masks on like ICE and all that, and because they have guns, when they have no idea, not even recognizing that they're marching, but they're more of a target than they are of anything else. When you come out here like that in hate and the ideology of hate where we are in this country today. So I just feel like it's bigotry. I think it's hypocritical for her to try to censor this woman when you got out here and was on national television and told everybody a bold-faced lie. And she never even succumbed to the lie. She never apologized for it. She just put this out there and had people run around talking about they're going to do this and going to do that. And I really don't think that people in this country really know where we are. I really don't think that they know, or they wouldn't be running around here talking about war and things like that, because it's not just angry men. It's angry women out here, too. It's angry young people out here, too. And they're not just black. They're of all nationalities. That's where we are today. And I want to say something to the truckers. When I saw a trucker, and I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I saw him where he was posting that he went to some place to drop off a load, and there was a couple white men that he said tried to kill him. They literally had turned over his 18-wheeler truck, and he was FaceTiming it and telling everybody, look, they're trying to kill me. And I was so angry. I was more angry at the trucker than I was at the white men. Why are you out here and you see what's happening where you cannot protect yourself? Why are you out here going to these places of establishment and only thing you can do is post online when nobody even knew where you were or how to get to you? It's just amazing that we can live in the world that we live in today and you not understand that you need to be able to protect yourself. You're not a violent person. You're a person that wants to make it back home. You're watching the news. You see things that are happening. There was nothing that anybody could do for that trucker. But you see where they say truckers are missing. You see where just everyday people are missing. You see people dressed in all black with masks just taking people off the street and their families not even knowing where they are. We saw the one guy who they did like that, and he was the wrong person. He said he'd send them to another country where he was even raped by guards several times and then brought him back home like it was nothing. So I don't know why you can still walk around today and act like nothing's going on, act like you're not at fear, act like that you're not responsible for your own well-being. People, you are responsible for your own well-being. Cops cannot be everywhere. It's just impossible. There is a shortage of officers in a lot of different places. At some point, you're going to have to take responsibility for your life and understand that your life is important. And if you are a trucker and you're watching the news, you see truckers are being hung, truckers are coming up missing, then you carry a load and what have you. When you post, make sure that you have stood your ground before you post. Because you can post, and like I said, nobody can even get to where you are.
That's right.
So stand your ground and then post. And please put some pictures on there. And I'm not being violent, Reverend Sharpton. I just want people to wake up and understand that you are responsible for your well-being. You are responsible for you making it back home. There's nothing nobody can do on social media with you posting something somewhere in some trucker field. People are asking, like, where is this at? They ain't never even heard of the county, the city, or the yard, or wherever he was. There's nothing we can do. But there is something that you can do. You can learn to protect yourself.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom. Thank you for your call. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797. Be right back.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
Racial discord, a blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I had to learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing and I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that called me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them. Now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old. With the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
For 90 days, they're going to do a study of what companies have pulled out of DI and what companies and what companies have a small margin of profit. And we in 90 days are going to announce the 2 companies that we're going after. And we're going to ask everybody in this country, black, white, brown, gay, straight, woman, trans, don't buy where you are not respected. Donald Trump can't make us buy your stuff. The Senate can't make us buy your stuff. In the name of Dr. King, we're going to do what Dr. King did. Trump tweeted the other week, I'm a con man. Don't call me the coin man. I'm going to stop the coins from dropping in the wrong place. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. On our message board or in our phone calls, it is Express Yourself Day. Let us go 1-877-532-5797. On the message board, Joseph Simmons says, Reverend Al, please run for president in 2028. You will win. I don't know about that, Joseph. What the old folks say in church, I got to pray on that one. Richard Sapp says, it's shameful, disgusting, and disgraceful that Taco Man continually insults black women and black MAGA won't say a word. Heck, even black politicians stay quiet. You right about that, Brother Sapp. I mean, laryngitis, it's amazing. If you have no self-pride, no dignity, then you ought not be in public life. I mean, ridiculous. Let's go to Ruth in Atlanta, Georgia on our call line. Ruth, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Hi, Reverend Sharpton. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing just fine now. I am. Thank God. I just wanted to call you to let you know how much we love you and everything, but that's fine. But the Lord had been telling me to tell you the people is giving too much work of Satan. And he said we need to be given work for what he has done so that it will cut Satan out, to cut him down from what he is trying to do. He's trying to conquer everything in this country. And God said for him to be cut down. And to do it, we got to stop speaking so much of hate, so much of unloved things that you teach us love. That's what we need more and more of. And we have to help you. You can't do it all by yourself.
Right. That's right.
We got to help you. And for us to help you, we got to say, God, we're going to do what you asked us to do. And get out and do it. You got to pray. You got to read your word, because the word is. You told on your message, I think it was yesterday or Sunday, I forgot which one, I was listening to you on my husband's phone. And you was telling us what God is doing for you, and it can do for us too.
Right.
But the people got to listen to you. And they got to tell you, yes, you are right, Rev. You our leader. The God that's in you is leading us and guiding us. And we got to follow through. We can't sit up here and just, put the word out there and not doing it. We have to do it because you tell us to. You our leader, Rev. I have a nephew that's the same birth date as yours.
Is that right?
October the 3rd.
Right.
Yes, sir. And my husband, he is October the 14th.
Wow. All right. A lot of Libras.
Libras, right. And all of them, like you and everyone else, because we had a shepherd of our church, his was the 1st of October.
All right. All right.
See, but I know you got to go and you got other people, but I wanted to let you know that I have always wanted to meet you in person and to shake your hand.
Well, I look forward
and say,
to that.
Thank you.
Well, I look forward to that, Ruth. Thank you for so much. And you stay tuned. If I come to Atlanta soon, I think I'm doing it in middle of October after the Triumph Awards. I'd love to meet you. I'll let you know where I'm at. Let me go to Demetrius in Cleveland, Ohio. Demetrius.
Hey, thank you, Reverend Sharpton. I hope everything's going good for you today.
I'm doing all right.
I just want to speak. I'm glad to hear that. First, I'd like to give my condolences to Robert Redford family. He was a good actor. He also set up a different film festival for different directors to produce movies that would otherwise wouldn't have a chance in the movie industry. And also, he stood up for a lot of environmental issues that would be taking the environment and lobbied for different Congress people and senators to pass on bills to protect the wildlife and natural resources. And also, I'd like to speak on Venezuela. You know, Donald Trump sent, some airplanes and warships to Puerto Rico, to threaten Venezuela. But I believe this is an important issue because if Venezuela is threatening and they say they're going to defend themselves, that would most likely involve Cuba and they're going to involve the Soviet Union because they still are allies of Venezuela. And that could turn into a regional conflict and the United States would be bogged into a war because, that's not something that should be taken lightly because Donald Trump had proven, like with the bombing of Iran with Israel, that he would follow up on threats like that. But I say it would really be a bogged down situation because when Venezuela was threatened before, a few years ago, Cuba and Russia came to the aid. Thus, the United States backed off. And if the same situation happened again with them being threatened, Cuba and Russia will come to the aid again. So those threats shouldn't be made. It's not something that Donald Trump should do because of his ego and because they want to eventually take over the oil industry in Venezuela. I mean, that's the main issue. But Venezuela is an independent country. The United States oil companies don't have no type of sway or say-so with the oil companies, and their main aim is to overthrow their government, so they can have more say-so in the oil industry. And they use the pretense that because it's a socialist government, it's not democratic. But like I called in your show before, because of the embargo against Venezuela, that's one of the main reasons why the economy is suffering now, and why some of the immigrants is leaving there, coming to the United States and other countries. Because if a country wants to set up their own form of government, it's up to the people to change the government.
Right.
Outside forces shouldn't get involved. Because I said only 10 United States, and not United States, but the oil industry and Trump administration is to take over the oil field, leave it over to the Venezuelan people. Because the same thing happened in Iran. The United States got involved with Iraq and Iran. Then had the crisis with ISIS. When they removed Saddam Hussein, and we were bogged down in Iran, and we had the worldwide terrorism, because the United States were overly involved with that because of the oil industry. And also, last I want to speak with Donald Trump wanted to send National Guards to these different cities, so he want to alleviate crime. But his main issue is still to use the city police forces to arrest immigrants. He uses a cloak like he wanted to reduce the crime problem in these cities, but his main aim is to arrest as much immigrants as he can and try to force the city police force to accommodate with him with his attempt to arrest the immigrants. He's not doing anything for the crime problem in inner cities where people need protection. He's going after certain areas and want to use the police force and ICE to arrest as many immigrants as he can. Thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, be right back. Keeping it real.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? this is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel
that DEI is a result of those that by law and later by enforcement would not deal with diversity, would not deal with including people of color, gender, sexual orientation, as well as disabled. And the conscious effort by government and the private sector to begin to equalize the opportunities of this country was something that makes it more humane and fair for all of us. To DEI, diversify, is not based on the lack of merit. We could not show our merit because we were extremely pompous conservatives that talk about we want a society based on merit. Well then, if it's based on merit, then why did you discriminate based on race and gender? Until they cut off much of the population and then had merit between white males. That was what they meant, not merit. Let's have real merit, but let's also make up the ground that those of us with merit was not able to compete.
So we just wanted to greet you all and thank you for allowing us in. Yes, sir. We was here.
They were on the plantation.
Our family was on the plantation. Wow. And that's, of course, that's the slave house. It's one of the slave houses.
Your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. Sir. And we're back 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Woody in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Woody.
Hey, big brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You sound good. Usually you can tell through the tone of a voice exactly how someone feels. And I'm happy that you're healthy most of the time.
Thank you.
All I got to do is listen to you. I can tell when everything's okay. That's what happens with a friend. See, a friend just knows things. And I always say a friend just is. Some friends are around you. Some friends don't know you. Friends are born from God for the assistance of others, God's way of being there without being there. He always sends us friends. So I just want to thank you for being my friend, brother, and the rest of the people that are listening. You're a great friend to millions of people, and there's a reason and a purpose for that. And I think how you were raised, you were prepared for the mission and the time in which you're in now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I believe that to be true.
I know it to be true, brother. I just wanted to say it to you because I listen to you every day. Just want to let you know your brother's listening.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I love it. Thank you.
Sir.
All right.
All right.
1-877-532-5797. Tanya Stovall on our live stream says, we are alone now. Trump has put the U.S. in a dangerous position. And I agree with that. Miss Richardson, let's go to Miss Richardson. Miss Richardson, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Yes, good afternoon, my dear.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, you know, Rev, we know that this country was founded on violence. It has perforated itself through hundreds of years, well, since they say 1776, but we know for sure, we're not stupid, that the indigenous folks were here, even before them, maybe thousands of years or before them. And they even say some of our people was here at that time. So how they got here, I don't know. But we only go by the history books of what usually Europeans write. These are not Jewish people writing these things, see, folks. We got to understand that. It's mostly European, Polish, Italian, British, German, Dutch. All of those folks were in Africa that took and did those. The colonized Africa was the Dutch and the German and the British, but yet we give them leeway. We keep thinking that they're going to change, Rev. You know, now you're a reverend. I know you know what you have to do as a reverend. You can't be too harsh. You can't be, you're grounded to be trying to stand for peace and justice, right, Rev?
Absolutely.
And now, in your opening, you mentioned and you spoke it so brilliantly and righteously about the power base, how to use power over evil,
right,
and to use power for justice, right,
right,
and tranquility and things like that. But you see, this we have to understand the European set mind, because now I'm looking at right now some things, C-SPAN, what do you call it, C-SPAN and CNN, and these people that are talking, it's like the ones that's in back of them, I guess they are their overseers or their protectors or whatever. But when they're saying this rubbish about what's going on, and then they have these tremendous smiles on their faces, they don't seem to show any bit of concern for the nation. It's only when they're smiling like that, it makes Mrs. Richardson think, well, they know they're going to get their bread. They're going to get a nice fat wallet at the end of the week. And Rev, could you tell me what is the average salary of a member in Congress or in the Senate? Not the bigger ones, but the ones that are up there and consisting of 435 people. Do you know the average pay that they get?
Let me be sure. But I know that chairmen of committees get more than the regulars. But I'll look it right up right now. The average pay for members of Congress, that's one thing is I'll give my daughters, they got me on this technology, so I cannot guess stuff no more. So all right.
But anyway, you can get that. You can get that later if you want. But let me say this. Now, you're right, and I know you'll get it from Dominique, and you'll bring it back to us. But I have to say this because it's our government, this government that we call our government, who is sending aid to the people that's bombing everything. My husband and I see it. It's on we on different stations every night with the bombing and continual killing of women and children. When is this going to stop? I mean, why is the United States still aiding Netanyahu? And I haven't heard anything from the Hamas. Have they gone into hiding, Rev? And with that, I'll let you. I hope you will respond to that.
Here's the answer to your question. The average members of Congress, this is the House, make $174,000 a year. This includes delegates and resident commissioners from Puerto Rico. The Speaker makes $223,500, and the majority and minority leaders make $193,000. So that's the range in terms of the members of Congress.
Our taxpayers, our tax money is going. Our tax money is going for these folks up there, mostly European and not Jewish, but European, the ones I had said to you folks. And I'm not upset. I love my people, but we got to get out of this habit of blaming the Jews for Netanyahu stupidness, because he's stupid and he's an ignorant man that should be removed. Because I get sick of looking at him. Whenever he's on with Trump, I pay close attention because I say, no, I'm going in the living room or something. I'm getting away from this. because usually our little TV's in the kitchen where we're looking at it together. And I tell David, I'm not going to look at that man, because you see, Netanyahu has an evil mindset. He wants all of that Palestinian land to go entirely for Israel. He wants to open up Israel as the biggest, like he wants all that land to make Israel larger and bigger. And he doesn't care about the consequences of women and children being killed. He just doesn't. And so, but I'm saying, Reverend Haney, could you tell me when I hang up, what is the Hamas? Because they should be blamed too. They were the ones that started the crap. So why aren't they held accountable? And Netanyahu. And I'll hang up and listen to you. And you know we love you very dearly, Rev.
I love you back. Thank you for your call. And I think many of us, I know I did, we disagreed and attacked vehemently Hamas when the attack started October 7th. And I vehemently disagree with Netanyahu. I do not think two wrongs make a right. There were Israelis killed and hostages taken October 7th. Innocent Israelis, many of them were not even supporters of Netanyahu, but they didn't have the right to do that. Hamas didn't. And then because Hamas did it, they have not had the right to starve, kill en masse. I'm talking about en masse. Thousands, tens of thousands of Palestinians. And I think you've got to have one moral code, or you don't have a code at all. Let's go to Bertha in Cleveland, Ohio. Bertha, you keep it real with Al Sharpton.
Good evening, good afternoon, Reverend. You know, Reverend, Donald Trump is a Nazi German who hates America. He doesn't care anything about America. He all he cares is about himself. He's showing that he does not care about America. He is a child molester who has used, as far as I'm concerned, he's benefited from using underage girls with Epstein. He's trying to cover that up, but the truth is coming out. I'm sorry about the way this guy got killed, but what goes around come around. It reminds me of Pharaoh, how he wanted the firstborn to be killed, and it ended up his son was got killed because of his rhetoric. His rhetoric, Donald Trump's rhetoric. He is a racist, as far as I'm concerned. He's a treasonous. He participated in all this murder that's going on. It's because of his rhetoric, not the Democrats. It's his rhetoric. He's constantly. The first one that comes to my mind is January 6th. Now, if he wants to clear up murder and gang rape, start with the January 6th gang. That was the biggest gang that we have ever witnessed. Start with that. He's constantly calling Kamala Harris names. You know, this is sad. But through all of this rhetoric that he's talking and he's criticizing and he's cursing, it's causing some sick minds sitting in their basement to come out with all of this stuff. As far as him getting shot, I really don't believe that. I believe that was arranged. I have not. He got shot in the ear. I have never seen nobody get shot. None of those people that got shot at long range only got a graze to the ear. That's my feeling. I may be wrong, and if I am, I hope God forgives me.
Yeah, well, let me say, for the sake of me and the stations, you have right to your opinion. We're not saying that or condoning that. I don't want people jumping out there saying that I said it was phony. I'm just clarifying it because they are playing any way they can take a radio station's license or bump us off there. So I'm just making clear that you have the right to say what you want to say, but I'm not saying that I agree with that or the stations agree with that. But go ahead.
This is strictly my opinion.
Right.
No. This is my opinion. And through his rhetoric, Nancy's husband was visually attacked in their home.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well, we know that happened. I hear the music. Thank you for your call. We know that Pelosi's husband was attacked. We know the people in Minnesota killed. Shapiro's house burned down, and we know what happened last week to this young man that should not have got killed, Kirk. And I believe that they shot at Trump, and that shouldn't have happened. I'm not going to let them turn me into them with conspiracy theories and all that. Whatever happened or appeared to happen shouldn't have happened. Now let's fight back. Let's not just weave conspiracy theories. And but Bertha has a right to her view, and she calls here often. Let's get a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
So we just wanted to greet you all and thank you for allowing us in. Yes, sir. We were with Gold. Yeah. We was here.
They were on the plantation.
Our family was on the plantation. Wow. And that's, of course, that's the slave house. That's one of the slave houses. Sir, it's been 13 years.
That's right.
Good to
How
see
you been?
Doing fine.
Right, so that's and we
Alexander Sharpton. How many slaves were staying there?
I have no idea.
This is where they would have a slave.
Yeah, that's when, exactly. That was, exactly. The two people that most influenced my life were from South Carolina, James and Jesse. Jesse right up the road with me. I went over his mother's funeral. Jesse walked me to my mother's casket.
Wow.
From South Carolina. That's the balance of my life, James.
Yeah.
Civil rights, shoulders.
But also where your people from too.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
And when I knew Jesse was from James, I started Brother.
Yeah.
And James had died before I knew about him in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. James died December 25th. He died Christmas Day, 06. And they came to do the story for February of 07. They came to me in January. His daughter swear that was daddy and helped me push the information out.
Wow.
And I called Jesse and told me, you know that my great-grandfather was a slave about 45, because Greenville right up to I-20. He said, I told you we was connected. That's why you gotta listen to me. But no. Stop going through your life like you are a co-star or a bit player in your own drama. No, you are the main star. You're the central figure in your life. What you decide is what is the major thrust of your life. And others may contribute, impact, affect, but it's your life that you're central in. So stop trying to lay the weight of what you do or don't do on others. That weight is squarely on your shoulders and in your hand. And if you want to defer and give your life choices to others, that's on you. If they have
any sense at all. They would be so busy trying to conduct and properly guide their life, they would not have time to try to major in your life.
I got a Tony.
You got it? My daughter won a Tony Award.
That's crazy.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thing past hope, because I grew up, like I said, single mama on welfare, and my mother told me there's a part in life that hope's gonna run out, but she told me you got a double barrel in your engine. I said, what is that? She said you can switch from hope to faith. Faith is a little deeper than hope. Bishop Hilly is here. Faith is when hope runs out. Faith is the substance of things. Hope for the evidence of things not seen. Faith is when we were emancipated after 246 years of slavery and walked off the plantations with no education, no money, no future. And we built black churches and black colleges and black fraternities. We had faith. Faith made us stand up to the most powerful nation in the world and turn it around. Faith means we went from the back of the bus to the front of the White House. We come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in His holy word. He never failed us yet. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And let me go back to the phones. Let me go to Brian in Colorado. Brian, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. Yeah, you can hear me?
I hear you very well.
All right. I just wanted to talk about that with the Ukrainian woman that got stabbed in the train.
The who?
The Ukrainian woman that got stabbed in the train.
Okay.
All right. It's a tragic. First of all, let me say it's a tragic thing. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to her. You know. But my opinion on it is that something seemed weird about it when I first saw it. Like something seemed weird about it. I'm like, why would somebody do that? For no apparent reason. You know, like no reason. Just pull out his knife and just stab somebody. And then at the end of the video, he yelled, I stabbed that white woman. I stabbed that white woman. That's not. It just seems weird to me. So, you know, at first I'm thinking that they staged it. You know, that it was staged and stuff like that. Because the first thing you got to ask yourself is that, all right, she's from Ukraine. You got the war going on against U.S. and Ukraine right now. And, you know, she came to the United States to have a better life, you know. And being that they know that the U.S. is sided with Israel, and that Ukraine and Israel is going at it, and the Ukrainian woman coming here for a better life, you know, they could be inside people ready to do terrorists to the United States. So you know they watching every Ukrainian woman or Ukrainian person that comes inside the United States. So my thing is, this is, I heard his conversation with his sister over the phone while he was in jail, and he mentioned the chemicals in me made me do it. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but they got a thing called V2K.
Called what? A thing called what?
V2K.
Okay.
It's called V2K. Basically, what that is something that they use in the military, but you can actually control people with this. And how it is like, you ever see a virtual reality, how they have those Oculuses and stuff like that? How your mind is in a game and how your vision is in the game. That's kind of virtual reality, but they made experiment, and they was like, what if? And they figured out how you could actually feel within the virtual reality instead of just looking at it and tricking your mind into being inside that game. What if we could add feeling into it? What if we could? So what they did was they had another person with a laptop in another room, and then another person in the virtual reality game. And with that laptop, you could control that person. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it might sound crazy, but there's people that was actually victims of it. I mean, there's this girl that said she was a victim of it, and
but have they said this lady you're talking about from Ukraine that was did they say that this person did that based on what you're saying he could have taken?
Did they say that the person did it?
Yeah, are they saying that the guy that you said you saw on tape that they say did it was saying he took this what you're talking about?
He ain't say it exactly, but he said the chemicals inside of me made me do it. Because there's a reason for everything. People do things for a reason, and
I get that. I'm trying to understand how you go from him allegedly saying chemicals to the specific chemical. Who I don't want is people out there that listen to radio show to say that I'm on here pushing that this happened to this guy. Are you saying that these chemicals? No. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I'm saying that the chemicals are. Let me rephrase it because I don't want to put facts neither. You know what I mean? This is just like I'm not trying to make it seem like you're gonna push it or I'm not pushing it, but it just seems to me that may have been the case because.
Oh, okay. It could. You're saying it was a possibility. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a possibility.
I got it. Thank you for your call. We are joined as we are every Tuesday for the last hour of the show. Our co-host is the senior pastor of the First Corinthian Baptist Church in Harlem, member of the National Board of National Action Network, the Reverend Michael A. Walron. How you doing, Doctor?
Pretty good, Reverend Sharpton. How are you today?
Doing well. Give me your view as a major faith leader in this country about the whole way they have dealt with this Kirk killing. Clearly, most of us have denounced any violence, including Kirk, despite his politics. But many are saying that they have gone above and beyond what is respectful. They're flying the flags at half-mast for him. They all kinds of things.
Moment of silence at the football game Thursday.
Right.
All that stuff. So here's how I dealt with it in part, Rev. Here's my problem. One of the things I realize is that who our government seeks to make a hero says something about the values of this government, this administration. That's obvious.
Right.
So you heroize someone whose rhetoric was so filled with so much vitriol and spewed so much hate that when you want to make a hero of that person, again, it says something about the values of this administration and even to a degree this country. What I want to do it the night when and again, as you say, I don't think, Rev, we even have to qualify it by saying we don't condone violence. I think you as an activist in the Kenyan tradition, I think people know where you stand and many who are in that same vein. But what I will say, his wife, when she spoke, talked about that, all he was doing was being a patriot, advocating free speech, and spreading the love of God. That's where I had a problem. So my sermon this past Sunday was entitled The Idolatry of Counterfeit Religion. And what I realized is that they're seeking to undergird what he did and that whole movement with this Christian language. And the problem why many people don't know how to counter it, even people in the pulpit, because I heard a lot of comments being made that were more around, that were using this kind of social justice rhetoric, which is not bad or wrong, but they are trying to make a theological claim that somehow what they're doing is in alignment with the Christian movement. And so that's what I not only talked about some of the behaviors of this past week and what have emerged since the assassination, but I talked about how they're trying to legitimize this. And the truth of the matter is Christianity has been used over the years and aligned with power to condone conquest, domination, oppression. But in no way is what he does in alignment with the teachings of Jesus or the Jesus movement. And I think we have to make that distinction. I said, because many people do not understand. Like this man said, for example, one of the things he said was that, the the Bible does not support retirement, that we shouldn't retire. This is just very simple, because to retire is a waste of the gifts. Now, when you say the Bible says something, most of the people who follow him are not going to check and verify that. We know they don't fact check, because if you support Donald Trump and you get behind the MAGA movement, you definitely don't believe in fact checking. So you get someone who says was not in the Bible, or this is not of God, who's not a theologian, who doesn't even know the Bible, because that statement is not true in of itself. So what I'm saying is that the reason why we have to counter it theologically is because they're trying to make theological claims for a movement that is steeped in hate. And so we can critique what we saw this week, but at the same time, you have to critique what they're trying to cover their movement in, which is the language of Christianity and religion as a whole. And so that's one of the things I did this weekend, based on a passage in James 1 that talked about, we can't be fooled by this hot air religion, this religion that is purely performative. And in James 1:27, he said, real religion that passes the muster with God is when you take care of the homeless, when you take care of the widows, when you take care of the orphans, when you take care of those who are ignored. That's real religion, as said by the book in James 1:27. So and that's in alignment with Jesus' teachings and throughout the Gospels, and in particular in Matthew 25 and Matthew 5-7. So you can't spew hate. You can't call George Floyd a scumbag. You can't denigrate black women and say, oh, by the way, I'm spreading the love of God. That's insane. So instead of just attacking the person, attack what they're trying to cover their movement in, which is this real distorted, dysfunctional, and counterfeit view of religion and Christianity.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, be right back.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me, and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I had to learn. I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing and I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them. Now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old. With the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
One year ago and change, 67 weeks ago, we started marching every Thursday, am I right, on the offices of Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman was the architect of ending DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. He started it. I want to give a little history because a lot of people get Negroitis and get confusion. I don't even mind your ego, everybody need one, but you don't have to become contrary and duplicitous. We got to have integrity even among those with ego. So we started when they first came out against DEI. Now Ackman and them started it going to Harvard University, forcing out the first black woman and first black president of Harvard. We went to his office and been going 67 weeks. I went first 10, 12 weeks. And this brother, stand up, Reverend Ron McHenry, coordinator House of Justice. This brother has been there every week. Many of you here in the audience have marched every week. So we didn't just get in this. We were in it the day they came at Claudine Guy. Last year's convention, we dealt with DEI. This year we said that we're going at these corporations that had come out against DEI. Many of you, most of y'all I'm looking at was at the convention. And we hit Pepsi. Pepsi called and said, all right, we 8-9 days in, we agree to meet. And we went to Purchase, New York. Chairman of our board, Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, and Carol Wallace, who's a special advisor to us on finance, and laid out to them that one, we don't care what you call it, DEI, IED. Y'all are gonna keep your commitments in terms of the black community. And that means we don't want special privilege, but we do not want to be specially excluded. This is not about we don't want merit. We feel if our people are at the table, we can beat anybody on merit in many cases. So we want from employment to your board, to how you deal with marketing, to who does your financial investment. We want to go across the board with that. Otherwise, if you don't want to deal with the question of diversity in how you do your business, then don't deal with diversity in your consumer base, because you don't believe in diversity. So we just will try to remove all the dollars we can from buying your stuff. In fact, I told the chairman, maybe the chairman of the board, maybe the CEO, I said, in fact, I learned that not from growing up civil rights, I learned that from Donald Trump. I said, what do you mean? I said, Donald Trump said he's gonna redo tariffs, that if he doesn't get what he wants for the country, they were gonna raise the tariffs. I'm doing the black tariff reverse. If we don't get what we want, I mean, y'all can't be for Trump and tariff and not be for us in the African American community with a tariff.
It's been a long time coming, but I know.
1968, Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
Because I have a dream today.
When they came for the dream.
I'm your host, Al Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Reverend Dr. Michael Walron is our co-host. Reverend, let's go to Jihad, the sage from the South. Jihad in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, good afternoon, brothers.
Good afternoon.
Good. Reverend Warren, when in history have they done anything differently than what you explained?
Is Reverend Warren there?
Yeah, you hear me, Rev?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah. I was saying no. That's how Christianity has been used in this country.
That's right. In history, not just this country.
Yeah.
Worldwide. Yeah. So they've done this worldwide now. So then the question becomes, and this is Reverend Al, we can't trust openly anything Donald Trump say, or his State Department say, or his FBI office say. We just can't give them carte blanche. These are honest people reporting the truth. So then one has to ask questions. I mean, one has to ask questions about what they say, when they say it, how they put it together, how they stumble saying it, the narrative that they put forth in front of us. We just can't give them carte blanche because they don't have a history, Donald Trump and Kash Patel and the rest of them, they don't have a history of being honest people. And now that they have a history of being corrupt people and they have power now, so they're equally dangerous. Right. So here's my question. This is just a question, and this is from Brother Jihad, not Reverend Al Sharpton, for the audience. The guy is on top of the roof. He shoots the bullet. He takes the time to put the gun together because the gun must have been in the backpack, but it looks like when he's walking, it looks like he's limping when he's walking before he gets to the roof. But they want us to believe that the gun was in the backpack. The gun was in the backpack. He took it apart. He used a screwdriver that they happily find on the roof and put the gun together. And then after he's shot, within 2 minutes, he's off the roof. He puts the gun back together, put it back in the backpack, then walks across the street in the woods, and for some crazy reason stops to unpack the gun again, screw it back together, right, and then put it in a towel and leave. How can we? How can we not ask questions? You understand what I'm saying? And then the idea, I think Warren hit this, is that now Trump them want to tell us who to feel empathy for. You're going to make me feel empathy for him, and if I tell you how I honestly feel, you're going to fire him and you're going to punish me? It has nothing to do with my job capability? How long I've been on the job, how good of an employee I've been, nothing, just because I have a personal opinion that I put on a personal page Now you're going to get people to look at my page, report me, and you're going to fire me to say I'm not meeting your ethical standards as your employee. Yet I'm doing everything you asked me to do as an employee. But at the same time, you let him ride the airplane. This is for Delta. You let him ride your plane when he said black women weren't nothing, was dumb and stupid, and wasn't qualified to even drive a plane. When he called George Floyd a scumbag, right? You didn't put no restrictions on him for his position that he presented to the world. Remember, he had a world audience. Me and my little page only got like 5, 10, 15, 100 people, right? So whatever I say personally, I'm saying on my private page, he went around the world, campuses, and got total exposure, promoting the foolishness and saying the dumb things, the racist things about black people. And then you want to force me now to become empathetic. And
see,
the last thing, Reverend, I want to, go ahead. Yeah, I want to know when we as black people are going to get tired enough, or what is it that we have to see? What else do we more have to see with this latest thing that he did last night with the African brother that had the whips on his back, removing him from the museum or from the whatever the site is, so that people, what else is it that we need to see to say, let's get serious about this thing and let's do something?
Yeah,
I don't understand. What is it?
The photo of the brother that had been beaten, the webs on his back, to be taken down is outrageous, and I'm glad you raised it. But let me say this, that I think that Jihad has surgically and strategically said exactly right. You've got to separate the reaction that many of us have to somebody being killed violently and saying that's wrong, no matter what side, from people trying to force us to say something that they agree with politically. One has nothing to do with the other. And I think that those of us that are intelligent, I say on my TV show, I say it on this, I say it everywhere, I'm against violence. This man attacked me by name, but I still he had the right to live. But don't now turn my saying that there is a moral standard we have into saying we ought to be building statues for him and all. There's a big difference now in my morality and that. I'll give you a good example, Reverend Walron and Jihad. I came out of 30 Rockefeller Center the other day, the building with NBC, and one day the weekend I was coming out from doing my show. Guy stopped me, looked like he might have been late 60s, early 70s, around my age, white fella, had a young lady with him. He said, Reverend Al, I said, yes, sir. He says, my daughter would like to take a selfie with you, a picture with you. I said, no problem. And she came over. I stood there. She took the picture. She said, I'm a big fan of yours. I said, well, thank you. And he said, yeah, I've grown to like you. I never got over Tawana Brawley 35 years ago. You stood up for her, but I guess, we all make mistakes. I said, well, I've said what I believe. He says, yeah, but I'm a Trump supporter too. I said, well, let me ask you a question. He said, what? I said, you never got over me standing up for a young girl who said she was raped and it was done by law enforcement and she was found in a bag. Her mother told us the story. Her lawyers told me the story. I wasn't involved till later. So you hold against me for 35 years that I believe the girl found in a bag. But you voted for president a man that tried to put a bag a woman. And his daughter looked at him and said, okay, now answer that. I said, ain't nobody said I tried to go at the young girl. This man's convicted of inappropriate behavior toward a woman. You want him to be president. And that makes sense to you? And the daughter said, but Daddy, if he believed in the woman or the girl that said this, isn't that what Me Too is? Believe women first? I said, I needed you 35 years ago. And I'm only raising that, and I hadn't even told that story publicly, but it just happened the other day. I only raised that to say that they want to use different standards for different things. Right. And if you don't check them, like Jihad is saying, and like you said, Reverend Walron, they'll run the whole gamut with you on stuff you didn't say. There is a moral position we have against people being killed. That does not mean that we condone and lionize what they may have represented, nor do I expect them to do that if I was killed. Thank you for your call, Jihad. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, Walron, be right back.
For 90 days, they're going to do a study of what companies have pulled out of DI and what companies have a small margin of profit. And we in 90 days are going to announce the 2 companies that we're going after. And we're going to ask everybody in this country, black, white, brown, gay, straight, woman, trans, don't buy where you are not respected. Donald Trump can't make us buy your stuff. The Senate can't make us buy your stuff. In the name of Dr. King, we're going to do what Dr. King did. Trump tweeted the other week, I'm a con man. Don't call me the coin man. I'm going to stop the coins from dropping in the wrong place.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now, each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a
1-877-532-5797. Let me remind you, every Sunday, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. And again, I let you know on Tuesdays I get the ratings that this weekend, as you did the last 4 or 5 weekends, you really supported the show. And I've tried to bring the right guest on so I'm not wasting your time. But last 4 or 5 weekends, both Saturday and Sunday, we had a larger audience than CNN at my time. And that's keeps you on the air because they can't say there's no audience for it. But we had this last weekend, the congressman whose district, Cleo Fields in Louisiana, is the case that is the Supreme Court is deciding on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. If they go against this case, saying race cannot be a factor in drawing lines, we already see the redistricting they're doing in Texas, but this case is the one in front of the Supreme Court. If they rule against race, the Voting Rights Act is over. And I had him on. We talked about that. I had a real discussion on that with him, discussion with the Lieutenant Governor of Illinois about the threatened Chicago takeover. I had the mayor of Memphis on Saturday saying he did not ask President Trump to come in with the National Guard to Memphis. And even though Trump said the mayor and the governor wanted them to, had Andrew Cuomo on, who is candidate for mayor in New York, former governor, to answer what Zohran Mandami had said on our show the week before, and I'm going to have Mandami back on. You never know when we'll have on Politics Nation with Al Sharpton, so watch it every Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you that are in the tri-state area, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice in Harlem, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'll be there this Saturday looking for you. And you that are not in the New York area, you can watch it live on Impact Television, or you can watch it at nationalactionnetwork.net, nationalactionnetwork.net in our live stream. And put it down, October 6th is the annual Triumph Awards. That's the cultural awards National Action Network gives out in the fall, and we've had everybody from Denzel Washington to you name them come and be honored. Queen Latifah, our honorees all come. This year we're honoring Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Babyface will be there to get his award. We're honoring Ari Melba, who is the host of The Beat on MSNBC, and he'll be there. Stephanie Mills, we're honoring. She'll be there. Great songstress. I've known Stephanie since we were kids in Brooklyn, and we're honoring her. Giving the Gospel Award to Vincent Bohannon, great artist, great pastor, and he and his choir will be there. And Chesley Maddox Dorsey, who owns the American Urban Radio, and she's a businesswoman extraordinaire, but a media whiz. We're honoring them. It's free. Not a dime you have to pay, but you have to register. If you're not registered and get your ticket, you're not going to be allowed in. It's in the big room at Lincoln Center, October 6th. We also celebrate my birthday that night. My birthday is October 3rd. So it's the Triumph Awards and my birthday. So be there with us. But go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, nationalactionnetwork.net, and you can sign up online, or you can call the toll-free number 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651. And again, if it goes to capacity, and you called in the last week and we said, no, the list is closed, nothing I can do. Don't be calling me saying, Reverend Al, I've been listening to you all 19 years. Nothing I can do. I'm telling you now, call now and get your seat registered and come and be a part of a great evening. Reverend Dr. Walron, what's going on at 1 Corinthians?
Well, first of all, I'm going to make sure I'm in the house October 6th, because I don't want to have to call and tell me there ain't no more seats. So. I'll make sure I'm there. Listen, but this coming Sunday, Rev, is the first time we're doing something. It's called Blue Sunday. Around the country, a lot of people do Pink Sunday in celebrating breast cancer awareness, celebrating survivors. This Sunday is Blue Sunday. We're talking about prostate cancer awareness and celebrating survivors of prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is probably one of the most treatable and curable forms of cancer there is, and yet African-American men die at an alarming rate, more than white men and any other demographic. So we just want to bring awareness. We normally throughout the year have the prostate screening mobile, but that'll be here this weekend. But we'll hear testimonials from persons who survived it. Also, a young man, I'm talking about a brother, Rev, who was under 40, who last time we had, a few months ago, the prostate screening mobile unit here, he just went and did it, supporting it, found out that he had prostate cancer.
Wow.
And has gone through radiation and treatment. And his thing is, if he had never gone to the mobile unit that was here in front of the church, there was no signs. He said he would not have known.
Wow.
So he's one of the persons who'll be sharing his testimony. But that's why we do it. We do the prostate screening mobile unit probably about 6 or 7 times a year, Rev. And that's why. So this will be our first Blue Sunday. Everybody have on blue. We have special merchandise in blue, but everybody Blue Sunday and honoring survivors of prostate cancer and bringing more information on prostate cancer awareness.
That's a big thing to do. And again, another innovative part of your ministry, and you've been doing that health screening for a while now and pioneered getting mental health screening. And mental health works in that area. I really think as many of the historic churches we have in the city, I think you were the first one to really open up a place for mental health. And
absolutely.
And I think that it has only grown. And I think that, you know, when the history books is written, as they tell me, you'll have to be listed among other things as pioneering with that.
All right.
And
you know,
yes, sir.
Yeah, no one was doing this work, Rev. Like when we started doing mental health work, people ask us why are we doing this,
right?
And you know, I think that's big. And you know, next year is when we come out with our mental health mobile unit. Will be coming out. We already got the funding. So next 2026 will be the launch of our mental health mobile unit, Hope for Harlem. Hope on Wheels. I'm sorry. Hope on Wheels is the mental health mobile. So you'll see that in Harlem starting next year.
Right, absolutely. And let me go look on the, I haven't gone to the message page. Carolina Moore says she's replying to a Frank Calahuti saying, I think you're totally confused. Democrats are not using Reverend Sharpton. If you truly knew his history, he's a teacher and a fighter. If you think your anger and foul words will get your point across, it will not. I don't know who she be reacting to, but Democrats wish they could use me. I'd be fighting the Democrats more than anybody, I think. But anyway, I'm not wasting a lot of time on that. Let's go to David in San Francisco. David, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton and Reverend Dr. Michael A. Walron.
Yeah, thanks, Reverend. And I'm glad Walron just mentioned the prostate cancer. A lot of guys are kind of ashamed to, get tested, and do by all means do it. It's kind of an embarrassing thing to do, but by God, it sure helps. The big news in the last couple of days is Donald Trump is trying to basically extort the Federal Reserve into either retiring or resigning so he can reappoint somebody else. And when you think that the 34 convictions that Donald Trump has for financial fraud, if Donald Trump were to be able to control the Federal Reserve, he would be able to basically control the credit rating for not only everybody in America, but he would be able to basically jump the interest rates to suit him.
Right.
So he could punish his enemies. He could praise himself. He could give himself sweetheart loans, and he could basically create havoc with the financial world. And a couple of calls ago, I mentioned that I've been kind of testing this weird idea. You remember on Lincoln's birthday, Donald Trump decided to get rid of the penny. So America is no longer going to have a penny. They're not going to print anymore. But we still have billions of them floating around. And there was a period in Nazi Germany, it was previous to Nazi Germany, it was called hyperinflation, where I've got my grandfather's old stamp collection where a penny stamp all of a sudden turns into $100, then $1,000, then $100,000. It's Deutschmarks, but it's 100,000, then millions of Deutschmarks just to send a stamp across town. It eventually got up to something like 7 billion Deutschmarks just to send a letter. And it's described as you had to have a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread. Now, if we've actually got pennies floating around, we could use them as an image for a project. You fix somebody's porch, bam, they give you a penny, and that's project done. And so a penny becomes a project done, whether you sweep somebody's front porch or whether you fix their roof. Project done. So there's going to be a time where we're going to need to do a thing like that, and I'm just, getting that idea out there.
All right. I appreciate you getting it out there, and I certainly agree with your analysis of the president and what his scheme is, I believe, in Federal Reserve control. Time to go. I hear the music. Let me thank Reverend Dr. Michael A. Walron. Let me thank all of you that called in, listened in, you that called in and couldn't get through, but hung in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody, tell anybody, tell everybody. Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real.